Hi, I'm Adriana from Enlightened Birth and Beyond, and here we are again with Sam, who is going to share a bit about her birth story with her baby Raph.
Yeah, I'm super excited about talking about this. Birth, it definitely wasn't what I thought it would be, but it definitely wasn't anywhere near as bad as I thought it would be. It was kind of like a good medium, I think. So to start off with, I had Raph on the Wednesday, so I went into early labour on Monday. I started the contractions and they were like obviously bearable until about Tuesday night, where I pretty much couldn't walk because it was so bad. I did a lot of like my hypnobirthing techniques through that period, like sitting in the bath with my music and my hypnosis, trying to stay as relaxed as I possibly could, and just kind of living in that moment. It is like, I did find it quite difficult. It was very painful, and I think like next time I go through birth, I've got a few ideas to like keep me grounded. I think I stopped. It's all right. Raph's just giving us some entertainment. Yeah. So I think to keep myself grounded is the biggest thing I learned, is to not let yourself kind of be taken over by the pain too much.
Yeah.
Hey mate, you okay down there? Yeah. Good job. Yeah. You want to have a chat too? You want to tell everybody your story?
It is your story.
Yeah, it is. It is your story, isn't it?
Mama's just helping.
I'm helping, yeah. So I learned, like, obviously the more intense it got, the harder it was for me. So by the Tuesday, probably early morning, it would have been about 2 a.m. on Wednesday. So Tuesday night, early Wednesday morning. And I was just like to Rob, I can't do this. Like, I said, I feel more comfortable in the hospital.
Yeah.
Don't ask me why, because obviously home is more comfortable, but I just felt as if something happened, I would be safer there.
Yeah.
So they were really good. They kind of made me wait a couple of hours. I did ring up and they're like, look, see how much longer you can go. And if by, say, 2 or 3 in the morning you can't cope anymore, come in and we'll like set you up. So they were really good about it, and I ended up going in. They checked my dilation and I was only 2 centimetres dilated. And so I sat in the shower. I took the head off the shower in the lower mat, and I just ran the water on my stomach because it was the only thing that kind of took the pain away.
How good is the water immersion though?
Water immersion is so good. Like, I really wanted to do a water birth, but when I asked about it, they said that they were worried because of my weight. So I'm not over 100 kilos by any means. But they kind of looked at me like, well, you know, if you can't get out of the bath or whatever, then there's a liability issue there. So I had to sign paperwork, but I didn't end up using the bath anyway, which I was kind of sad about, because I think that would have definitely helped me a lot more.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
Can I just ask, had your waters broken yet?
No. They had not broken. So it took about 2 days so the mucus plug, like the more creamy one, came out on the Monday. And then on the Wednesday, just not long before I had Raph, did the actual bloody show come out. So I was like, when is this, constantly checking myself, when is this coming out? Like, what's happening? Is something wrong with me? Like, I've got all these pains. And I think my biggest advice is just to relax. Let your body have the baby, how it's gonna come out, because the more you stress, like, the less chance your body has of relaxing, so it's gonna take longer. And I was super stressed. Like, I was like, what is wrong? Like, what's going on? Yeah. So like I said, you have to like kind of take a breath and just not let fear overtake that moment.
Hindsight's 20/20, is it? Like, we do the course, we know all these things, and sometimes we just need that reminder. So I tell everyone, you'll hear my voice in your head when you're in labour not to do this, because I'm going to tell you now, but I know that you're still going to do it. And I want you to just think of my voice.
Yes, and I was trying so hard, and it's just, I think, like, the closer you get to birth, it's so overwhelming, like the pain, and you can feel your body like just getting ready to give birth, and that's, I think, when I started to struggle a bit more. So they ended up giving me, I think it was like a good 6 or so hours, and they checked me again. And at this point, I was like, okay with that, because I just wanted to know what I was at. Yeah. And if you don't want to know where you're at, that is totally fine. I get that. Some people.
And if you change your mind in labour, also completely fine.
Yeah, because it's so different when you're in the moment than when you're thinking about it. So I was like, no, I do want to know where I'm at, just so I know roughly like timing, how long I'm going to still be doing this for. And I was still only 2 centimetres. So my body just did not do its thing. It probably was because I was so stressed. And I get really mad at myself about that. But like I said, I've learned so much since since Raf's birth. I know what to do next time. So they did put me on a drip just to help the contractions speed up. And I did have a shot of morphine in my leg in the very, very beginning. So I think I didn't want any medication, but I'm not too upset about it because I think I did pretty well. And I had some gas. So yeah, had the shot in the leg initially. Then they hooked me up because nothing was happening and I was in a great deal of pain. And I kind of was like, how long do I want to do this for? How long do I want to be in pain for?
You start doing that cervical dilation maths and you're like, I've been at this for how many hours?
Yeah, I don't know if I can do this anymore. So I did have the drip. So that was probably 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
And then by 5:15 at night, I had Raf.
And how did you find the contractions before the drip versus after the drip?
They started becoming a lot more frequent and a lot more intense. So I wasn't having them as quickly. And then as soon as they hooked me up every 4 to 5 minutes, obviously at the beginning, it just boomed. I could see at the clock and I knew straight away when it gets to that moment, I have to suck on my gas because it's coming. And so I did, and I love the gas. I know a lot of people don't like it, but it really just helped me to chill out. So that I would do that again for sure, but I probably wouldn't bother with the morphine in my leg because
probably the gas helped you find that rhythm as well and allowed you to feel that, I guess, more of a sense of control of what was going on.
Yeah, it stopped you focusing on the pain so much, and then I was able to just focus on just my body and breathing properly and not hyperventilating, because you start to hyperventilate. But like I said, I've learnt so much from this first birth. But when it actually came to birthing him, it only took me about 15 minutes to birth him. I put on my favourite music. I think at the moment I did have Wonder Woman playing, so I had like that real intense music. Just if you've seen the movie, just before she runs into like that no man's land section, and I was like to my husband, put this on now. Like I need that like rev up to get him out, because I was like, oh my God, I can't get him out. I was trying to have him on all fours, but because they had strapped a thing to me and they couldn't hear his heartbeat properly, they made me go on my back, which I wasn't very impressed about. And I definitely won't be doing that next time because my butt hurt so much for weeks after that. It was terrible. I really would have preferred to stay in an upright position or on all fours. Either way, I was like, put the music on. I need this because I was so tired. And then they said to me, hey, like, do you want to see his head? Because his head's there. And I was like, yes. I was like, I do want to see his head. So they put the mirror in between my legs and I touched his head while he was there. And that's all I needed. And then I just followed my contractions. So they were quite weak, which is why they put me on the drip in the first place. So they took me off the drip and then it was all me to push him out. And I pushed him out in 15 minutes, and I literally grabbed him and put him on my chest. Oh, he like shot out. He just shot out. I had put that much pressure in to try and get him out, because you just don't know what you're doing. Yeah. It was just like, whoof, straight out.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's always nice when that happens.
Yeah. So and then I put him on my chest, and then that was it. And we laid there for ages, just in the moment, covered in all sorts of stuff.
I know. There's one thing you don't really think about. The one thing that surprised me was everything else that came out.
Well, do you know what though? When the placenta came out, it did not hurt. I didn't barely feel it. It just feels slippery, like it just slipped out.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, can I see where he was? And like, so they showed me everything, and Rob was like, nah, he was gone. Yeah. But I was like, this is super fascinating. I loved it. I loved seeing awesome. It's such an amazing, incredible organ. And I was so lucky that they let me have a look. And and after that we did the delayed cord clamping. And then I cut a little bit of a cord and Rob cut a little bit. And
that's lovely that you got half and half.
Yeah. And then, that was that. So, but I definitely think hypnobirthing helped me more in the pushing phase.
Yeah.
being able to track my mind into the right thought process. I don't remember it hurting.
Yeah.
I don't, even in the moment, I remember thinking this does not hurt like I thought it would. Because I was just, I think having that music and having my, like the positive hormones and the endorphins and all that stuff, it just made me feel so loved.
Yeah.
That I didn't feel the pain. All I wanted was Raph.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah, loved it. So I loved it. I did tear and I had stitches. And the lady that did my stitches, Yvonne, amazing. If you have your baby at Lowell McEwen, amazing midwife. Yeah, amazing. Like, my stitches didn't hurt. I didn't feel a thing. Even afterwards, can't fault her for that. So I'd still do it all the same, exactly like that. Yep. So
that's beautiful.
Yeah,
I'm so proud of you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm super proud. I didn't have an epidural because I can definitely see why people have them.
Yeah.
It is painful. But if you take away that thought and just replace it with a positive thought and that you're about to make your baby and that this is only temporary, you can do it.
Yeah, and practicing, like you said, that surrender, like, becomes really difficult when we get inside our heads and we start doing maths and we start using our neocortex more. And, once you like you said, you got on the gas and you're able to find that rhythm a bit better and, surrender to yourself and your body a bit more. And then, once I think, even myself, I found, as soon as I got in the shower, for me, that was like my rhythm. And I delayed that for 4 hours. But as soon as I got in there and got into that rhythm and sort of slowed everything down, and everything just goes how it is supposed to go. And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing to happen.
Yeah, so I think I'll maybe try even water birth next time, see if they'll let me do it. Because I think that would be amazing too.
Yeah.
Take a bit of the pressure off and the pain away as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Well, thank you, Sam, for sharing your birth story, your Raph's birth story.
No, it's my pleasure.
Beautiful. And you can stay tuned next fortnight and see another interview with Sam.
The last one, I think.
See ya.